This is the fifth Perek of Pirkei Avot, Tes Zayin. Kol ava shitluya b'davar. Anything, any love or relationship which is dependent on a specific thing, batel davar betela ahava. When that thing is no longer, the love is also no longer. V'she'ena tluya b'davar, but any love which is more truthful, which is more inherent, and is not dependent on something particular, eina betela li'olam, the love will endure forever. What's an example of a relationship which is dependent on something? Zo ahavas Amnon v'Tamar. This would be the relationship in the Navi of Tamar and Amnon. And Amnon loved Tamar only because he found her attractive, and he therefore set her up and raped her, and after that rejected her. This is clearly a relationship which is not true love, but one which is dependent on something which reflected the fact that it did not endure. V'she'ena tluya b'davar, but a love which is not dependent on something else would be zo ahavas David v'Yonatan. This would be the relationship between David Hamelech and Yonatan, the son of Shaul. Yonatan took risks to his own life and standing, and reduced his own possibilities for greatness because he was loyal to David HaMelech, and their relationship was considered to be enduring. Mishnah Tazayin, Kol machlokas shehi l'shem shamayim, any machlokas which is l'shem shamayim, which is for the positive, which is for the sake of God, in that the relationship, the machlokas, the debate, is two parties who are both trying to better understand God and His Torah. Sofa l'skayim, their debate and dispute will continue and endure. V'she'ena l'shem shamayim, but if it's not l'shem shamayim, it's not that we're both trying to know the truth, but we have some other agenda, then ein sofa l'skayim, then the dispute and the perspectives will not endure. Ezohi machlokas shi l'shem shamayim, what would be an example of a machlokas which is for the sake of God? Zo machlokas Hillel v'Shammai. This would be a machlokas Hillel and Shammai, who both wanted to understand the truth of the Torah and offered different perspectives. Since they were both trying to understand the Torah, that's considered l'shem shamayim, and therefore their machlokas endures. It's not negative that they have different perspectives, but positive, and we've preserved both their perspectives and studied both the perspectives of Hillel and Shammai, whether or not the halacha follows them, because they both are true perspectives of Torah. V'she'ena l'shem shamayim, but not l'shem shamayim. Zo machlokas Korach v'chol adas. So this would be the machlokas of Korach and his constituents, who challenged Moshe Rabbeinu, but not because they were in pursuit of a more truthful understanding of what God wanted, but they were interested in their own agendas, and they had different agendas, Korach and his people, and therefore their point of view and their dispute was not enduring and was ultimately destroyed. Next Mishnah, Kol mezakes arabim ein chet ba al yado. Whoever has a good impact, a positive impact on the other people, inspires others to do mitzvos, will not come to sin. Maybe the Mishnah means that when you try to impact on others and improve their ways, there's a risk that your own ways will be impacted by them. But if you try to impact others in a positive way, you will not come to sin. But if you inspire others to sin, the opposite, ein maspikim biyado la'asos tshuva, he will not even have the opportunity to do tshuva. And here I think, well, why is it that you can't get tshuva? Isn't tshuva always a possibility? Perhaps what it's saying is that if you impact and inspire all others around you to sin, you'll never want to do tshuva, because every influence around you was created by you to be negative. Or perhaps it means it's impossible to do tshuva, and perhaps it's impossible to do tshuva because you've inspired all those people to do sins. All of those impacts that you've had, how could you undo those? You can do tshuva yourself, but how do you undo that which you've harmed all the people around you? Moshe zacha v'zika es harabim, zuchus harabim toli bo. Moshe inspired others for the positive, and what his reward is that the merit of the others is totally bo. It's his credit. Shenemar tzidkas Hashem asa u'mishpatav im Yisrael. Yeravam, so the zchus of the people is awarded to Moshe because it was his influence. Yeravam ben Nevat chata v'hekati es harabim. Yeravam sinned and caused others to sin. Chet harabim toloi bo. He gets responsibility for all of their sins. Shenemar al chataos Yeravam asher chatav asher chati es Yisrael. They were all the sins of Yeravam. Mishnah Test continues, Kol mi sheyesh biyado shlosha devarim halalu mitalmidav shel Avram Avinu. The following three qualities is what defines a student of Avram Avinu. V'shlosha devarim acherim, and the other three qualities, mitalmidav shel Bilam harasha, would be representative of a student of Bilam, the evil one. Ayin tova, a generous eye, ruach nemucha, a humble spirit, v'nefesh shafala, and not a lot of desire, but a muted physical desire, mitamidav shel Avram Avinu. This is what makes someone into a student of Avram Avinu. Ayin ra'ah, an evil eye, a stingy eye, ruach gavoa, an arrogant spirit, v'nefesh rechava, and a broad desire, mitamidav shel Bilam harasha. That's typical of a student of Bilam harasha. Ma bein Talmidav shel Avram Avinu, Talmidav shel Bilam harasha. What would be the difference between these students in their what happens to them? Talmidav shel Avram Avinu, ochlim ba'olam hazeh v'nochlim ba'olam haba. Avram Avinu students will benefit from their mitzvot in this world and get an inheritance in olam haba. Shenemar lahanchil ohava yesh ve'otoseim amalei. Aval Talmidav shel Bilam harasha, but the students of Bilam, Yarshim Gehenna, will inherit hell. V'yardim le'be'er shachas, and will go to a well of destruction. Shenemar v'yatalu kim torideim le'be'er shachas, that God will bring them down to a well of destruction. Anshe damim, who? Those who have blood on their hands, umirma, and deceit. Lo yechatzu yameim, they will not even live to half their lives. V'ani aftach bach, and David HaMelech says, and I have trust in you, God. Mishnah Chaf, Yehuda ben Tema Omer, Havi Az Kanamer, a person should be as fast as a leopard, as bold as a leopard, V'kal Kanesha, and light like an eagle, V'ratz Katzvi, and run like a deer, V'gibor Ka'ari, and be strong like a lion, Lasos Utzon Avicha Shvashamayim, to do the will of God in heavens. Take all the strengths and qualities of the world and channel them towards God. Huya Omer, he would also say, Az panim legehenim, someone who is arrogant will go to hell. Uboshas panim, and someone who has shame, legan Eden, will go to heaven. Yihiratom ilfanecha Hashem Elokeinu, may it be the will of God, shetibaneh ircha b'mehirav yameinu, that you will rebuild your city speedily in our days. V'sein chalkeinu b'sorasecha, give us a portion of your Torah. Very interesting tefillah at the end of this Mishnah. The next Mishnah continues, Huya Omer, he would also say, Yehuda ben Tema, Ben Chamesh Shanim LeMikra, at 5 you start learning Chumash. Ben Esther LeMishnah, at 10 you can learn Mishnah. Ben Shloshesrei LeMitzvos, at 13 we start to do mitzvos. Ben Chamesh Esrei LeTalmud, at 15 we can start with the Talmud, which means the analysis of the Mishnayos. Ben Shmona Esrei LeChuppah, at 18 time to get married. Ben Esrim Lirdov, 2 years later it's time to chase, probably to chase a livelihood. Ben Shloshim Lekach, at 30 we have the strength. Ben Arba'im Lebin, at 40 we have understanding. Ben Chamishim Le'etza, at 50 we can offer advice. Ben Shishim Lezikna, at 60 it's older age. Ben Shivim Leseva, at 70 it's a respectable old age. Ben Shmonim Legvur, at 80 is strength, but here obviously unlike Koach at 30 it's more of an inner strength. Ben Tishim Lasuach, at 90 we're already a little bent over. Ben Meya Kilu Meis Va'aver Al Batal Min Ha'olam, at 100 it's, if we're not dead yet, it's like we're dead. and no longer truly engaged in the world. The final mission has been Bag Omer, Hafach Ba V'Hafach Ba D'Chula Ba. Toil in Torah and toil again in the Torah, D'Chula Ba, because everything is in it. Uba Techazeh, and you'll see in it, you look into it, to find meaning. V'Siv Uveleba, and get older and worn out in your lives with the Torah. Uminalo Tazua, and never leave it. She'en Lecha Mida Tova Himena, there's no other great value in the world like it. And Ben Heye Omer, Ben Heye would say, Lefum Tzara Agra, that according to the effort is the reward in the study of Torah. In other words, that it's not only the end result that matters, but the effort and process in the study that truly makes us rewarding.